Welcome to Denver Startup Week. I'm Ben Data, co-chair of DSW. This year marks the 10-year anniversary of Denver Startup Week. This community has been the catalyst for lots of change over the past decade, and this week we're coming together to celebrate the past and dream big for the future. We are able to bring Denver Startup Week to this community thanks to our 2021 sponsors. Thank you to our HQ and title sponsor, Amazon, and our title sponsors, whose leadership makes this week come to life. Capital One Cafe, Downtown Denver Partnership, Fluid Truck, Hotel Engine, and WeWork. And our track sponsors, who have made all of the great content you're hearing today possible. Founder Track, Kickstart, Growth Track, Friday Health Plans, Developer Track, Quizlet, Product Track, Palantir, Designer Track, Battery 621 in the Public Works, People Track, Exactly, and Spotlight Event sponsor, Strat Labs. Our headline event sponsors are bringing the excitement this week. Thank you to B-Side Fun, Colorado Public Radio, Comcast, Coors Brewing Company, Denver Pavilions, Entrepreneurship at the University of Denver, Gusto, JP Morgan Chase, Method, Moss Adams, Pine Insurance, Promontory Mortgage Path, Red Bull Basement, Southwest, Tattered Cover, and VF Venture Foundry. Finally, thank you to our partner and member sponsors listed on the screen. Please say thank you to these companies as you enjoy our hybrid Denver Startup Week. And don't forget to use hashtag #DenStartupWeek to share your experience and moments of inspiration on social media. Have a great week.
Hello everyone,
Hello.
Welcome to Denver Startup Week. I'm John, the Spotlight Track Chair and member of the Denver Startup Week Organizing Committee. Thank you for joining us for the 10th anniversary of Denver Startup Week. At Denver Startup Week, we strive to make all of our sessions a space where attendees can connect, learn, and grow regardless of age, gender identity, gender expression, race, ability, or sexual orientation. A special thank you to our sponsors for their support in helping us keep DSW free and accessible for all. Thank you for joining us and have a great week.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to 100 Women Talking Money Startup Edition. I am so excited to bring this session to Denver Startup Week for the second year in a row. There is just so much power in women having money conversations. If you are on the live stream in YouTube, hello, you will get to see a lot more of me, but I encourage you, if you have the opportunity, to jump on into the live studio audience. That means logging back on to denverstartupweek.org, clicking on the session and click Join Live Studio Audience. We are going to be doing a series of breakout conversations where you will have one-on-one money conversations with other women in the startup community. These are going to be happy, healthy, wealthy money conversations, and you will get more value if you are here in the Zoom room with us. So come on over from YouTube and join us in the Zoom room. You are welcome to join us if you are making dinner, if you're going for a walk, if you are multitasking, though we want you to have these money conversations. So I hope that you can join us right now as we dive in. My name is Jen Ewan, and I am the founder of the Pledgettes, which is a personal financial community for women taking an active role in their personal finances. Each week, we host money conversations, whether it's just within our community and our members, where we celebrate wins, share experiences, and ask questions, or when we invite guest speakers to join us with their favorite money topic, where we talk about money mindset, niche investing, real estate, negotiation, all these different money topics, and we never ever run out of money topics to cover. So if you are looking for more money conversations, check out thepledgettes.com. But what I would love to do right now is let's jump into it. The goal for you tonight is to make some financial friends. Financial friends are people that you can have money conversations with, people that you can celebrate successes, share experiences, ask questions, find an accountability partner, and build wealth together. What I'm going to do is we are going to jump into breakouts right away. I'm going to put you into random breakouts with people, and I've got 3 money conversation starter questions for you. The plan is for you to take one of these questions, dig deep, or go through all 3 questions, or just talk about whatever's on your mind in terms of money. The goal is that you are talking about money together for the next hour tonight and making some financial friends. So I dropped 3 money starter questions in our chat. One is, what is your first memory of money? Dig back deep and think about what you are the earliest money memory that you can remember. The second conversation starter question is, what would you do if you earned $1 million investment in your business? And the third question is, what would you do if you didn't have to make money? Again, the goal is for you to find some financial friends tonight. So I'm going to open up these breakout rooms and let's get these money conversations started. Here we go. We're going to do, all right. So you will see an opportunity to join a breakout room right now. Click on that link to join your breakout room and start having a money conversation. You'll have 5 minutes for this money conversation. I'm going to set the timer on my phone right now. Have a healthy, wealthy money conversation. Here we go. All right. And now for our YouTube family that's joining us on YouTube, start thinking about this. Grab someone in your home or text a friend right now and ask them one of these money conversations. What is your first memory of money? What would you do if you earned $1 million investment in your business? And what would you do if you didn't have to make money? These are all some pretty exciting things to dream about when we dream about money. I love talking about what I would do if I won the lottery, love having big financial goals. I also love celebrating those mini goals and setting small, fast milestones so I am progressing towards those big financial goals. Let's talk about the value of having financial friends. Who are you currently talking about money with? It could be probably your parents. Generally, what we know about money, we learned about from our parents, who learned about from our grandparents, who learned about it from our great-grandparents, and so on and so forth. Generally, these money conversations happen, in a family. And if your family is telling you that money is a taboo topic, you might not be having too many money conversations outside of your family. As an adult, we get the choice to change that, where we can start building relationships and financial friends with people who we aspire to be, who we aspire to mentor us and guide us along the way, with some people that are more knowledgeable about us, about financial topics. The goal is that we are normalizing money conversations and having fun while we do it. So while we're waiting, I'm going to share one of my first money memories with you. Again, if you're streaming on YouTube, feel free to go back to denverstartupweek.org, click on our session, and join the live studio audience. That studio audience is going to allow you to join our breakout rooms where you can have some healthy, wealthy money conversations tonight, right now. All right, my first money memory, it was probably my 5th birthday. And my grandpa gave me $5, a $5 bill. And at first I was so disappointed that he didn't give me a toy. All I really wanted was a toy. But then my mom said, you know what we're gonna do? I'm gonna take you to the store where you get to pick out a toy with a $5 bill. I remember scouring the toy aisle at our pharmacy, Jewel Osco in the Chicagoland area, if any of you are from there. And I chose a Rainbow Bright stamp for $2.34. It was probably the first time that I looked at price tags. And so I got to go up to the counter and pay and receive the change. And then we took my change and went over to the local bank where I made a deposit with the rest of my money. That's $2.66. And at the bank, of course, I got a Dum Dum Sucker as well as a sticker book. And I just remember this money experience so vividly. It taught me that money is choice. If I have a dollar, I can save it, spend it, invest it, donate it. I am making an intentional choice with every dollar that I have. At its next level, money gives you freedom and flexibility. When we have more income and money and wealth built up, we can start a company. We can take some risk professionally. We can take a sabbatical. We can go back to school. We have more freedom and flexibility when we are able to build wealth. And at its highest level, money is power and control. And we need to determine where that money and control sit in our society. You play a role in that. The question around what would you do if you didn't have to make money is very aligned with what would you do if you won the lottery. And I'm going to call back all of our friends from the breakout here in a minute, and hopefully hear some of those answers. If you're watching this on YouTube, again, come on over to denverstartupweek.org, join our live studio audience where you can participate in the breakout. If you're unable to join and you're streaming on YouTube, that is awesome too. Go ahead and drop a comment. What would you do if you didn't have to make money? What was your first money memory? I love hearing these stories, and I love that these money conversations are like peeling back the layer of an onion. You can start in a safe, healthy space and then dig deeper and deeper. You may have noticed I didn't ask you to reveal all the balances in your bank account or a P&L statement for your business as the first question that I asked when talking about money. Money conversations can be healthy and safe. Our friends are about to join us back here, and we're going to hear from some of them. All right, welcome back. How was it? Give me a thumbs up, give me a head nod. All right, I love it. I love it. So while you guys were all having fun, I was just talking to myself and the people that are watching this replay on YouTube or streaming on YouTube right now. Would anybody want to share to this group and to the YouTube universe how you answered any of these questions? What was your first memory of money? What would you do if you earned $1 million investment in your business? Or what would you do if you didn't have to make money? Is there anyone that wants to share?
We were
Allison.
We were talking a lot in our group about that first one, about like your first money memory. And we had like one person got given money to save and one got given money to save or spend. And it's like how it creates like either this idea that you have to save all your money, or like this idea that it's okay, like you can blow some money on candy as long as you invest. And I was the person who got given the money to only to save. And it was like, here's your money and you have to put it in the account. And I think like it definitely creates this idea that like now I kind of have like almost guilt associated with spending money, because I'm like, I could be putting it in the bank. So it's just funny how it like really dictates how you think about it in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Amy, what did you want to share?
Well, we also talked about growing up and what our like kind of what our general thoughts were about money. And a few of us said it was, we don't really have enough. We need to spend very carefully. So then spending became a little difficult because the same reasons. You think you need to save.
Yeah, I love that. What I love about this first money memory is that one, it always involves another person. Somebody has to introduce us to the idea of money. That could be a parent, a sibling, a friend, a caregiver, and there's always an emotion tied to it. We could feel shame, we can feel excitement, we can feel, resistance or, forced to be told something. We can feel like we have a lot of choices. There's so many choices, or there's so many emotions that we feel when we first start talking about money. Also, these early money memories are still with us. And you can think even after tonight, think about some more meaningful money memories that you have and how those are showing up today. How are those influencing today? Both Amy and Allison talked about the idea of spending and saving, and those actions that started in those first money memories still show up in our decision today. And T shared in the chat that her group also focused on first money memory. And this proves if the topic starts there, there's not enough time to talk about it. Yes, these money memory conversations can go on really long. And what's beautiful about these money conversations that we're starting is healthy money conversations are like peeling back the layer of the onion. So you can start on the outside, like any of the conversation starters that we have here tonight, and then dig deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. You'll, of course, notice that one of my first questions to ask you was not to reveal all the balances in your bank account or share a P&L statement in your business. That is certainly a inside layer of the onion kind of money conversation, and not something that is a great conversation starter. MT also shared that their group wished that they would have more education. It is fascinating to me that the lack of financial education in our schooling system, and because we learn about money from our parents, who learned about it from our grandparents, who learned about it from our great-grandparents, there is a limited focus on what they can teach us. Even if you look at the ways of building wealth and how much they've changed from our parents' generation to our generation. So often our parents, they could have jobs with pensions while we have to build up our retirement accounts. They might have bought primary residence and invested in real estate. We're investing in building businesses and looking at alternative forms of investment. So we can't just keep these conversations within our family. We need to go beyond and start talking to more people about having money conversations. I'm so grateful for all of you guys for coming here tonight and setting intentions and taking an active role in your finance. The last question that it doesn't seem like many groups got to, but what would you do if you didn't have to make money? I also, on the flip side, love the question, what would you do if you won the lottery? It does not surprise me that everybody has an answer to the question about the lottery, even though very few people I know actually play the lottery. But this idea that we can dream big and have ideas and dreams of what we would do with our money is so incredibly awesome. The answer to that question is a great insight into setting a big financial goal of yours. So think about what you would do if you won the lottery, or what you would do if you didn't have to make money, and think about that as a big financial goal. All right, you are going to make some new financial friends in our next new breakout. And here we go. What were the best investments you have made in your business and career? Where do you get your financial advice? And how has your money mindset evolved or changed by working in the startup world? So again, same idea. You can go through all the questions. You can do just a couple questions. We're going to get you in one-on-one money conversations. If you need help, or if the person that you're talking to does not come into the room, let me know. Raise your hand for help in the breakout, and I'll put you into a new room. You should see that invite now, and I'm going to see you again back here in 5 minutes. All right, and for our friends here in the YouTube world, again, if you are interested in coming into the Zoom room, go to denverstartupweek.org, click on the session, and join the live studio audience. If you are just joining us from YouTube and that's where you're at right now, or you're watching the replay, let's talk about this. So when we think about the best investments that we've made in our business and in our careers, think and reflect about how much of those are financial. Are your best favorite money moves that you've made attached to financial outcomes or a financial process? And then start thinking about your career moves and your life moves as money moves and increase your confidence in that. You can increase your financial confidence by increasing your financial literacy. MT described having that desire for more financial education. You get to choose the way that you're increasing your financial literacy. You can attend some financial advice or some financial events. You can start more money conversations. You can read a book, listen to a podcast, find a blog, join a community like the Pledgette, find some mentors. You don't have to do this alone. Figure out the best way for you to learn so that you can start expanding and increasing that financial literacy. Nobody was born with it. Everybody who has it learned it. So one of the best investments that I have made in my life was increasing my financial literacy. I'm grateful that with the Pledgettes, each week I get to learn something new. I actually wrote a blog at the end of last year that was 52 things that I learned about money. I grew up in a family that openly talked about money and felt that I had a good foundation and great financial literacy. I was confident asking my HR benefits manager about our 401k packages and other HR benefits that I could take advantage of as an employee, as well as, I was confident in going out and learning, in reading a book. I didn't feel scared to join money conversations, though there were certainly many money conversations around me that I didn't understand. There were money conversations that were very technical around stocks, and I kind of felt like that wasn't for me. And it wasn't until I said, you know what, I want to participate in those conversations. I'm going to learn more about stocks. I'm going to start listening to podcasts, reading books. I'm going to have more conversations with my friends about money so that we're all more financially confident because we have that financial literacy. Where do you get your financial advice? Of course, I definitely love having money conversations. If you cannot tell already, money conversations are a big part of my everyday, and it's a great way for me to learn. But I also always, within the money conversations that I have, when somebody is sharing advice, I always ask myself, one, do they have the expertise and knowledge to be giving this advice? Somebody who may have invested in crypto 5 or 10 years ago, who's telling you to do it now because it worked so well for them, might not have the same lens of, or it might not be the same experience to start investing in crypto now than it was before. So you can certainly learn from them, but I would not blindly follow their advice because of their experience that they had 5 or 10 years from now. I would definitely want to know their experience and learn from that, learn how to buy crypto, how do they evaluate risk, ask all these questions, but not take specific financial advice. I love getting advice from certified financial planners on the stock market and retirement planning. That's where their area of expertise is. They have the education, they have the continuing education for it, and that is where they have built their career. You always want to ask an expert. You also want to put it with the lens of your personal economy and your goals. So listening to a certified financial planner who also understands where you're at now, your goals, and where you want to go. So that's probably the strongest advice that I would listen to when it comes to retirement planning. But it's not just about a certified financial planner, because you might have goals in starting a business or investing in real estate that the certified financial planner might not be the right person. All right, as we welcome our breakout rooms back, I would love to hear if anyone would be willing to share something that they've shared in their breakout. Does anyone want to talk about something that they shared in their breakout around best investments, financial advice they received, or money mindset?
I'll share. I'm Beth, and I spoke with Elizabeth, and Elizabeth just shared just having the knowledge and other additional like training education has been a huge investment. And I just agree with her too, just with time and learning, knowing business and creating a business. It's still a learning experience, but yeah, time and just gaining knowledge is a good investment.
Yes, absolutely. And it's like there's always more to learn. Everything is changing, whether it is the way that we're building businesses and growing businesses, or the opportunity or the investment opportunities that are available to us. Does anyone else want to share? Stephanie.
Hi, yes, thank you. So one of my, I guess, best investments, when I was 20, I found out that I was going to have to do in vitro to have kids. So it kind of like shook everything up. And so that next 10 years, it made it so that I set 3 accounts, one for a wedding, one for kids, and one for a house. Cause I was like, well, I might be a single mom, but hopefully not. And I did that, and I traveled a lot, because every time I was just like, well, I want to live it up so that I can tell these kids, that I lived it up. I went to school, had the military pay for it all. But those accounts have made it so where that now, flash forward like 10 to 12 years, and I'm just in a completely different place, in my relationship, and just kind of making it so that I can start my own company and have that flexibility. So I think that that's been my like best investments. So thank you.
That is awesome. And huge congratulations. Give her all a little Zoom reaction and a bunch of applause for celebrate. Like, we want to celebrate all of those things that you've made. And it's so great to have those things to look back at like, 10 years back, that 30-year-old you or 25-year-old you or whatever age, set some intentions and set some things in motion for you to have more freedom and flexibility. I love all of it. So one of the exciting things about your personal financial journey is that it does not need to be a solo sport. What I love to talk about is building your financial A-team. We do this professionally. We consider so often, having mentors and having great managers and, finding those connections in your professional life to help you achieve all your big professional goals. We need to do the same thing with our money and our personal finances. These are the 5 types of people that I believe should be on your financial A-team. The first is growth partners. Second is connectors, mentors and mentees, a high 5 tribe, and diverse thinkers. We're going to go through those really quickly, starting with your growth partner. So your growth partners are sort of who people think about when they think about building a financial team. They understand your goals in your current economy. So these are people that you are going to share all the balances in your account, your clear goals, your big financial goals and dreams. They have specific experiences and education to help you achieve those goals. While it's great to learn from people who may be 10 steps ahead of you, consider those your mentors, and your growth partners take their advice closely because they know your personal economy, your goals, and they have the skills and expertise to get you where to go. Your growth partners will ask the right questions. They can analyze and understand your current economy. They'll offer specific advice, and they'll lay out a path for you to work towards. If you are launching a business or growing a business, you probably are because you're at Denver Startup Week. Some growth partners that might be on your financial A-team is a business coach, a certified public accountant, a CPA, or a bookkeeper, somebody to help you with the numbers in your business. It could also be a fractional CFO who can help you with some modeling and forecasting, and it'll be those strategic hires. Those connectors. You can find these at Denver Startup Week. The people in this session are definitely could be connectors for you. I'd love to be a connector for you. But this is your outgoing friend that doesn't believe that money's a taboo topic. They're well connected, they're reading, they're learning, they're listening. They can help you, but not give you advice. They might be able to determine which growth partners you need and connect you to them. And then we've got your mentors and your mentees. I love this African proverb of to go fast, go alone, to go far, go together. Yes, let's stop trying to make this a solo sport and a, solo hike. We're going to do this all together. So your mentors and your mentees are 10 steps ahead of you. And don't forget those mentees 10 steps behind you, because your mentors are inspiring and motivating you to take action. They are sharing their experience. They're getting you excited. And those mentees behind you, they're going to change the world. I am so excited about the mentees that I get to work with and the dreams that they have of the future and what they're going to, and the financial confident money moves they're going to make to make it all happen. The fourth is the high five tribe. These are people that you don't have to say too much for them to get it. You don't have to be on the same journey because they know that collaboration beats competition every time. We were all just able to share celebrate what Stephanie shared on the confident money moves that she has made. And that you can do the same for people in your high five tribe. Especially being in the startup community, your high five tribe know that short code. They know what it takes about getting a new SOW signed, finally landing that client, getting the investments, understanding a seed round. They have this short code where they know what a big deal it is. Give me a reaction if you've ever called your parents one day, were so excited about something that happened in your business, and they just didn't get it. Because they weren't entrepreneurs themselves. They might not have had the same enthusiasm and excitement that you did because they just don't understand, what it took for you to get there. So build out your high five tribe of those people that can celebrate you. And the fifth is diverse thinkers. I love this group. So these, they could have been the early adopters to online banks or cryptocurrency. They might be doing peer-to-peer lending or looking for investment ways to get into friends and family rounds. They're thinking about the future of the feminine economy, alternative investments. They have ideas to share. You do not have to follow in the footsteps of any diverse thinkers. You can let them test the waters and you can learn from their experiences. I love asking the diverse thinkers in my financial A team, how do they evaluate risk? What was the first move that they've made to invest in this way? Why are they doing it? Does it stress them out? Are they enjoying it? I love learning about their experience. And even if I don't do the same thing, it might influence the way that I make money moves or the ideas that I have around the investment strategies that I'm doing or the way that I'm growing my business. Go ahead and put in the chat, do you have those people on your financial A team? What do they look like? Who do you want to add to your financial A team? I also have a handout of your financial A team on the link that I just put in the chat, which is thepledgettes.com/keepitgoing. There are 3 personal financial worksheets for you there to take a look on ways that you can take a more active role in your finances, build out your financial A team, and set big financial goals. All right, it's time for us to do another breakout session. I've got 3 new questions for you, and you are about to meet a new financial friend. Of course, when you are in these breakouts, go ahead and have a conversation around, If you meet a financial friend in these breakouts, go ahead and exchange contact information. When we're all together, we can put our LinkedIn profiles and ways to stay connected in this, because you are having a shared money experience now, and I want to keep these money conversations going. Your 3 questions this time. How do you celebrate achieving a financial goal? What has been your biggest financial fail and how did you bounce back? We know personal financial journeys are not just sunshine and rainbows. And then since we are in the startup community, there are unique ways that compensation packages are being built. What are some of the big priorities you look for if you are applying for jobs at startups or when you're hiring people? What are those compensation details that you can offer and can share? All right, the rooms are open. I will see you in 5 minutes. Setting my timer now. All right, and for those that are watching on YouTube, let's talk about it. Celebrating your financial goals. Of course, when you're celebrating, you do not want the celebration to exceed the achievement. You do not want to save up the money for a down payment on buying a new house, get the house, and then go into debt buying furniture to furnish the house. We don't want to do that. So make sure that you are finding ways to celebrate a financial goal. It could be actually sharing the financial goal, standing up and saying it out loud. It's a beautiful thing and a way to celebrate for free with high five. It could be going out to a nice dinner, buying yourself a special treat at the grocery store, buying a cake at the grocery store, whatever you want it to be. Take a moment to celebrate achieving these financial milestones and these financial goals that you have. Financial fails are not the end. We've all had them, and we probably will have them again in the future. If we're not learning lessons and having some setbacks, we might not be setting our goals big enough. So set big goals, take some risks. We cannot retire by saving all of our money in a savings account at a global bank with a 0.01% interest rate. There needs to be some risk involved. So yeah, we're gonna take some risks and we're going to do some stuff, but we'll do it in a safe, happy, healthy way. What are some of the biggest priorities you've seen in compensation package? Of course, people love that salary, and equity is a huge thing, but there are also opportunities too of, looking at creative ways. I'm seeing more and more companies that are offering creative compensation, like student loan reimbursement. One of the members of the Pledgettes, her company gives her $100 towards her student loans every month. Let me do a little halfway note to our breakout room. Other things are, gym memberships, ground transportation, bus passes, rails, etc. Milestones, retention milestones. So after a year, sending them out to dinner. After 5 years, sending them on a weekend trip. What are these opportunities that you have that are valuable things that you can use to keep your employees engaged and retain them so that they can grow with you instead of jumping around to different companies and job hopping? We know there's so much value in what your employees learn at your company, and we don't want that value walking out the door. So in this next breakout, next time that we come together, we're going to be talking about aligning your values to your money. And that works for your business as well. So thinking about different ways that how the values that you share at your company show up in the financial decisions that you're making. So it's one thing to say that you have these values at your company. It's another thing to act on it. If you value your employees and you are, you are a people focused, a people first company. How do the financial decisions that you make align with that? Does that mean that the company is hiring before their employees are all at 95, 100, 110% utilization of their time? Are you hiring people in advance to get them ramped up? Of course, that's going to be a financial decision for your business, but that's also going to care about your people so that nobody is getting burnt out and overworked. All right, as our financial friends come back into the general session room, of course, I'm going to see if anyone is brave enough to share. Does anyone want to share what they talked about in their breakout room? Welcome back, welcome back. Does anybody want to share what they talked about in their breakout room? We got some quiet people here right now.
I think
Sarah.
I accidentally clicked leave now early. So I don't know. I might have just been the only one that came out. So yeah, that was an accident.
Oh, you're all good. Everyone is here now. So if there is anything that you want to share about this recent breakout or anything that we've talked about this hour, now is a great time to do so.
I can share. In my group, we talked about how scary it is to, if you are starting up or you're thinking about starting up, just going, full-fledged financially into it is very scary, because most people don't have, a trust fund or a huge lump of money just sitting in the bank to live off of for an indefinite amount of time. So just knowing when and how to start is really difficult. So yeah.
Yes, that is, we do have to take some financial risk. We're not going to be able to save our way to retirement by putting money into a savings account at a global bank at 0.01% interest. We are going to have to take some risk, and it's scary, but we can increase our financial confidence with that by finding mentors, by talking about money. I think we think that everyone else has it so easy until we start having these honest money conversations and really dig into it. Also, Sarah, Emery is looking for you on LinkedIn, but she doesn't know your last name. So if you want to message her or find her, you guys can also go back onto the Denver Startup Week page, and those participants who have their LinkedIn page, you can connect with them that way as well. Yes, I love this. All right, we're making financial friends here. So let's talk a little bit about aligning your values with your money. There's a blog post that I wrote about this, but when we think about our financial values and our life values, so often, I think we have these dreams of giving generously or buying from small businesses instead of buying from like the major corporations. How are your values showing up? Let's talk quickly about how they can show up with spending, banking, and investing. The first is with spending. If you are unclear on your values, pull out your credit card statements and your bank statements for the last 3 months and look at where you've spent. Or of course, use a personal financial manager like Navit, Mint, You Need a Budget. Those all have some tools where they can show where you are spending. And when you look at where you're spending, that's currently what you're valuing financially. So it could be convenience. It could, but we could say one of our values is small business and supporting small businesses, or supporting women-owned businesses or BIPOC-owned businesses. But then we constantly shop online at large companies. So our actions are not aligned with what we say that our values are. But perhaps another one of our values is convenience, and online shopping could potentially be aligned with that. So there's not a right or wrong way, just an intentional way of considering how you're spending. When it comes to banking, one thing, if you are looking for values aligned bank, a tool that I love to use is called Mighty Deposits. I'll drop that in the chat now. And what they do is they take all of the FDIC and NCAA for credit unions, all of their federally reported documents, and look to see how the bank is using your deposits. Your deposits are the fuel that determine which people, projects, and get in, and industries get investment. So if you are looking for a small business loan for your startup, check out the bank that you bank at and see how many small business loans that they give. Look for a bank that offers more small business loans. If you are looking to buy real estate, look at these banks and how they're investing with mortgages and giving out mortgages and giving money to people who are investing in specific communities and local communities. Third, thinking about your investing as values aligned. This is called impact investing, ESG investing. There are a number of funds that you can look at that are strategically ESG, environment, sustainable, and governance that you can look at. So you can look and find companies that have number of women on their boards or have pay transparency and pay equity and invest your dollars there. Your investment and the way that you leverage your money is incredibly powerful. So remember that as you're aligning your values with your money. I'd love to go into one more of our money conversations, and then I'm going to open it up to Q&A. So to just start a conversation around what questions you have about personal finance. And that was just one question that I just dropped in the chat. That copy and paste did not work as I planned. So I've got 3 more questions for you that we are going to get started in a breakout. There we go. All right, how do you know if you're making a good investment? How can you help close the gender wealth gap? And what is one commitment you want to make to your future self? So when we talk about, there are a number of wealth gaps that we see: the gender wealth gap, the racial wealth gap, the generational wealth gap. For the gender wealth gap, male version of you will have 3 times as much wealth at retirement age because men make more money, they take fewer breaks in their career, and they invest earlier and more often. So you taking an active role in your finances individually builds your wealth, but also has a collective impact on statistics like the gender wealth gap. And when we know when women hold more money, they reinvest in healthier and wealthier communities. So let me get some new breakouts for you going, and I'm going to send you on off for 5 minutes. I will see you back here shortly. All right, and welcome to those that are still tuned in on YouTube. I love that you are making dinner with us. You are out and about, but still joining because you know the value of women talking money. When we look at these future commitments to ourselves, one thing I love about this question is that when you say it to another person, let me pull up a slide as we do this. I'll pull it up with the other group as well. But this is what we know about setting goals. Research shows that individuals have the following probabilities of achieving a goal by taking these actions. 1, just having an idea or a goal, you're 10% likely to complete that goal. Consciously deciding you're going to do it, 25%. Deciding when you'll do it, 40%. Planning how you'll do it, 50%, committing to someone that you will do it 65%, and having a specific accountability appointment with someone you've committed to, 95% likelihood of achieving that goal. Those stats are incredible and should give you the confidence to set big goals and to take the action to achieve them. How do you guys know that you're making a good investment? For some, it might be looking back at the investments that you've made 10 years ago and seeing how those have returned, whether it's different funds or stocks that you've invested in, real estate, starting a business, starting a family, going back to school. We can evaluate the investments that we've done in the past and how those perform and what those should do should give us confidence to make more good investments and to do things that future us will appreciate and thank us for. One last timer, and then you'll have my attention again. Let's see what else that we have not covered. So I want to talk about some different wealth gaps that we have in our country here. More slides. Do. All right, so this cartoon pretty much sums it up for me. What's the matter? It's the same difference. Yeah, thanks. White wealth is, I'm sorry, white people own 86% of the wealth, but make up only 60% of the population. White wealth is diversified among real estate, equities, and other assets, whereas non-white wealth is mostly in pensions and real estate. Here is a look at the US wealth held by race. As you can see up here, we have white people, and then we have Black, Hispanic, and other. As you can see, since 1990, where the wealth in our country has changed. And this is the average net worth by race. You can see substantial growth and a widening gap for white Americans. Now, the gender wealth gap, as I mentioned, men make more money, take fewer breaks in their career, and invest earlier and more often, giving them 3 times as much wealth at retirement age. When a woman reaches retirement age, she may have accumulated $1 million less than a man who stayed continuously in the workforce. That is 1 million reasons for women to take an active role in building their wealth. And of course, you know, part of it is us taking action. As we talk about this generational or this gender wealth gap, there are 2 kinds of ways that we can do it. First is individuals building wealth. Like all of you tonight, I hope that this session has introduced you to some financial friends that can help you build wealth. There's also legislation that is happening on hopefully finding more equitable ways to break down some of the wealth gaps in our country. Here are some of the things some of the progress that we've made. It wasn't until 1862 that women could own real estate. Obviously, a woman's right to vote is our 19th Amendment in 1920, and that is white women's right to vote. Black women didn't get that until the 60s with the civil rights. Equal pay came out in 1963, but we know that there's still a pay gap, a gender pay gap in there. Title IX talked about investing in a lot of different equities for women. And wasn't until 1974 with the Equal Credit Opportunity Act that gender was added to something that you could not discriminate against for credit. So women could not get a credit card before 1974 without a male cosigner. We've got the 1994 Family Medical Leave Act, the 2009 Lilly Ledbetter Fair Pay Act, and we also have here in Colorado, it wasn't until this year that we had the Equal Pay for Equal Work Act, which means that all job postings do need compensation ranges on every job posting, and that previous compensation cannot be a factor in determining someone's current compensation. So while we are individually building our wealth, it's important to understand and advocate for the legislation that is around us to get to more, to decrease the income gap so that we can also decrease the wealth gap. I'd like to open it up now for you guys to either, one, of course, share anything that you shared in your breakout, and then also ask any questions that you have of the group, of myself. Let's keep talking money here for a few more minutes. And then while you're doing that, I'm going to drop in the chat a link to the pledgettes.com/keepitgoing. There's an offer for you if you're interested in joining the Pledgettes. You can get 1 month free if you go here and sign up through this link. There's also 3 different worksheets for you to take an active role in your finances, to set and achieve big financial goals, and to build out your financial A-team. I'm going to open it up now if anyone wants to share their commitments or ask any questions.
We were talking about, me and Sarah were talking about when you own your own company and you lose your 401k employer match, like what your options are. So we felt confident about individual retirement account, Roth IRA. We know there's something called a SEP IRA. Sarah was saying she thinks you have to have employees to contribute to that, but that's where we kind of stopped. But we were just talking about like different, I'm wondering if you know about that.
Yeah. So there are the Pledgettes, we did a webinar on this, and so members can watch the webinar on replay. But there are SEP IRAs, a Roth IRA. You can do a simple IRA. I'm trying to think. I feel like there's like 2 more that you can do as a self-employed person. If that is a question that you have, I'm going to put my LinkedIn and my email in there. I can go back and look those up for you and share that with you if that's something that's on your mind. But yes, it's important. It's fascinating, you know, when we leave full-time work and go into self-employment and take that risk, we have to understand those employee benefits that may be stopping, like the 401k retirement match. And how are we going to keep building wealth when we're not contributing to a 401k, and to set those intentions and those goals. That's awesome, Allison. Thank you. Anything else? Solo, all right. Thank you, Diane. This is what we're here for. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us tonight to make some financial friends. Go ahead and drop your LinkedIn profile if you want to stay connected with people that you've met tonight. I would love to continue the money conversation. So head over to thepledgettes.com/keepitgoing. Send me an email, jen@thepledgettes.com. I love having money conversations every day and would love to continue these money conversations with you. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
Thank you. This was great. Good night.